up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening? We're here live on Thursday, May 16th. Here to answer any of your questions. Man, it seems kind of dark in this room. So I'm going to brighten it up a bit. What's going on? Welcome to the show. This is greencardguys.tv. All right, we're going to answer some of your questions. I'll try my best to do it in an orderly fashion as possible. But here's the topic. What I usually do, if you're new to the channel, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States with a physical office in Houston, Texas. You can find us. We're not hiding. We got a physical office, and we have a Google business profile. We got 2 locations with over 300 5-star reviews because we really care about customer service to help secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. All right? Despite what some conservatives in America think. Okay, so here's the deal. The topic of the day, okay? I like to, on Facebook and YouTube, I'm able to share my screen. So sorry if you're on Instagram and TikTok. You can't see this, but the topic of the day, all right, I usually cover for a couple minutes, and then I'll answer your questions. The first thing here is, can you seek citizenship, aka naturalization, to become a U.S. citizen with an expired green card? The ultimate answer is yes, because I know a lot of people are concerned how to show proof you're still a resident when it may have expired. So here's a policy. The most recent policy actually dates back to December 9th, 2022. It says here that when you do file the N-400 application, you receive an automatic extension of 24 months. Okay, so you can see that here on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, and you might think, is 24 months enough time? Because you may have heard about other applications taking a long time, especially like renewing the resident card. That's the I-90 form. Look, if you had to pay, and I do believe it is, because normally the past 2 years, especially from the time that we file the application N-400 until the interview date, has been averaged 3 to 5 months. Fortunately, before the last 2 years, it was about like 12 months, which is still not terrible, but 3 to 5 months is way much better. So with that knowledge base that you have now, and also the knowledge base that an application to renew the resident card, the I-90, has been taking some people at least 2 years. It's very fortunate. I get a lot of those that information from y'all on the social media here, and a lot of y'all have been waiting more than 2 years when only renewing your resident status. So if you're going to go ahead and you're considering to do that, and you haven't filed it yet, but you're considering to do that for the renew for the 10-year card, you might want to consider becoming a citizen. Okay, one of our goals is to help y'all become citizens. All right, from the very start, let's say F1 visa, student visa, or another non-immigrant visa, it'd be our pleasure to assist you to eventually become a U.S. citizen in America. Okay, wouldn't that be wonderful? All right, so yeah, so that's the policy there. That is from December 2022. And here it says, let me highlight it for you all if I can. 24 months, there we go. USCS will update the language on the N-400 receipt notice to extend green card. See, even they use the word green card still. That's kind of strange. It's not technically green anymore. For up to 24 months for these applicants. Okay. So hopefully that gives you an idea. And then the second thing I was mentioning is, how quickly they're being processed. Even here it says, I mean, not that it was like accurate, but this one's actually more accurate than anything else they mentioned on their website. This policy was based on the processing goal of 180 days or 6 months for the Form N-400, which would make the filing of the I-90 form to renew residence status unnecessary for applicants who filed at least 6 months before your resident card expiration date. Okay. So, of course, in an ideal world, you would apply to become a citizen before your resident card expires, but that doesn't happen all the time. Okay. Now, this only applies to people who applied for the N-400 after December 12th, 2022. Alrighty. And then if you actually, here's a tip, an extra tip here that it mentions on the government website. In the event you want to travel and you're wondering, is the receipt notice enough to show proof to customs officer or even getting through TSA? Well, not TSA. TSA is more like ID purposes, but to get on an airplane, okay, at the gate, I highly recommend, okay, you get the 551 stamp in your passport. And how do you get that? You call the 1-800 number, okay? Which I had been memorizing it, but I think it's, well, before I guess. It's on the USCS website. But you call the 1-800 number, okay? It's on their contact page. Ask them for info pass appointment. Very important, okay? And specifically, tell them why you want info pass appointment. They're not just going to schedule you just because you asked for it. You ask them if you can schedule appointment because you need proof, physical proof in your passport that you're a resident. Specifically, that is the I-551 stamp, okay? If you want the least amount of problems trying to get in and out of the country, that is what you need to do. All right, now to the topic. Now to answer your questions. Let's see. Thank you so much for all your questions. Thanks for your trust. If anything, here to point you in the right direction. Now, if you're interested in our services to represent you on your legal status, to secure that legal status for you, to give you peace of mind, provide you assurance on the respective platforms, I think you can go, at least on TikTok and Instagram, you can go in the profile right there. And after you click it later on, go ahead and follow it right now so you don't forget. Especially if you're new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and follow it, and then later on you can click the link. It's ZAAP. That's the name of the link right under my picture. Okay. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, I think it's down below. It'll be our pleasure to assist you. Now, let's see some questions. Test bond 007. I'm not sure of the answer to your question. I would first look at the instructions for that one, the I-212 instructions. Hey, Daniel, what's going on? You said your sister is in the U.S. and she is a citizen, and her brother was passed away for you to come to the USA through her. Okay, Daniel, so you might know this already. If you have a sibling, U.S. citizen sibling, who is going to petition for you, sponsor you, yes, that's step number one is a petition. But just generally, you need to follow the visa bulletin because your visa, after the petition is approved, your visa wait time is generally 10 years, minimum 10 years. It doesn't even matter which country, unfortunately. This is actually when Congress was thinking about doing some reform when it was under President Obama. They called it themselves the Gang of Eight. They were actually thinking about getting rid of this category, F4 for siblings. So if you have a U.S. citizen sibling, please, I encourage you to ask them well, let me put it this way. Sometimes a U.S. citizen sibling contacts us and then they're like debating, should I file for them? Should I sponsor? And more so they ask because the immigrant beneficiary, the sibling outside America is like, no, don't worry. I love it here where I am. It's all good. I got family. It's all good. And if something happens in the family or the household or the job later on, like let's say 3 years later or 5 years later, and all that time, you could have already had your case processing. So if you're a U.S. citizen, if you have a sibling that you could sponsor, just consider it like a birthday gift or something, some kind of gift, because ultimately only the U.S. citizen needs to sign the petition. This is step number one. Okay. So hopefully that helps. But otherwise, Here's the thing, folks. Again, these kind of cases for siblings, for family preference, takes a long time, generally 10 years. So with that being said, there are other options through employment. Of course, most people think like, oh, how do I get a job offer? That's for another show, right? We're not a job recruitment company. We're a law firm to provide legal services. All right. However, I am happy to provide resources with you for you. Our team is able to do that. You need to contact us and tell my team. I mean, talk to our cares team specialist, or if you're going to DM us, please share your name, email, and just type in webinar, like employment opportunities, employment options, something like that. And my team will know to add you to the list for um, for that webinar. Okay, it's May, middle of May, so we'd love to do it in 1 or 2 weeks. But that's something you can consider. Okay, there's a lot of other visa options, but here's the deal: you need to have your resume prepared. That's really step number one for yourself. All right, let me switch platforms here. Thank you so much for your questions. By the way, on TikTok, they do hide a few of the comments or your questions. So don't worry, I can still see them. So you don't have to copy and paste. If you're like, where the hell did my question go? Don't worry. I can see it. So if you don't mind, I don't know why it's more so TikTok than any other platform, but try your best not to copy and paste your comment or question because I can see it again. It just takes me time because there's a lot of questions. All right. Um, thank you so much. All right, Aurora Limas on TikTok. Do I know how long it takes to get an interview? Your 601 was approved 2 months ago. Wonderful. Congratulations. Because as you experienced, 601 probably took you 2 years. So you need to notify your consulate embassy. They're not going to know. Remember, y'all need to know this in general with the US government. The agencies do not talk to each other. Well, there's only at least one time they talk to each other, okay? It's when it is a consular process case where the immigrant beneficiary is outside US and USCS approves a petition. They got to move that file to the National Visa Center, which is a sub agency within Department of State. That is probably one of the very few times they notify each other. In other scenarios like this, an approved waiver, congratulations again, but it's upon you to notify your embassy or consulate to let them know, hey, officer, my waiver was approved. If possible, attach the approval notice and ask them to put you in line for or schedule for an interview. Okay. All right. Hey, what's up, Adrian on Instagram? All is well. Hope I just got back from my son's graduation picnic lunch. He's very young. He's like about to be 3. Hope you guys are doing well as well today. Does that even make sense what I just said? Hope we're all doing good today. Yeah, today's May 16th. Okay, so Adrian, you got your biometrics done for N400. How long does it take to get an interview date? So this is N400. So this to become a U.S. citizen. Generally, it's not so much right after biometrics, but if there's a timing, I would say about 2 to 3 months. Okay, you're getting pretty close. So if you're concerned about the civics test, the English test, we have resources. We're happy to help you out if you need our services. We have resources to help you study. Now, flashcards. We created our own quiz to help you out. All right, switching to YouTube here. Hey, Empire, how do you get USCS to apply 245K to your AOS? Do you write a letter to request it? How do you let them know you're eligible for this section of law? Empire, so what we do as attorneys, we essentially, to like give you a brief, like a quick idea of what we do to let the USCS know when whoever's going to review their case on the inside, we write a cover letter, we write a memorandum, like a mini brief, okay? Depending on the type of case, some may only need like 2 pages. I mean, not saying it has to be 2 pages, but enough information to explain the situation. Okay. They don't want a sob story. They just want to know the law. You got to tell them how you're eligible, essentially. Okay. Um, we even had a situation we had to explain for H-1B renewal they just increase fees. They have employers paying like an asylum fee when their application has nothing to do with asylum. It's ridiculous. So we know of a law firm that did file a lawsuit against it and it didn't work. But anyways, even in that letter, we had to explain that this applicant, this client, is not required to pay ABC fee because, and we had to define it for them because we do not, as a law firm, our law firm, Ting Law Group, we do not assume whoever's going to review it is well trained. Okay, and even if they are well trained, we still want to tell them why and how our client is eligible. We want the least amount of pushback from USCS. So I hope that information helps you as you try to explain it in your own letter. But ultimately, Empire, if you want the most peace of mind and less headache, you might want to consider hiring a lawyer, especially for AOS. You're almost there. Okay. All right. What's up, AD? Great work. Thank you so much for your kind words. You filed the I-130 in 2022, and it was approved in, let's see, you're saying approved in October 2023. Okay, so that's a petition. Then you filed 45 later. Okay. Is there an advantage of with 45 if you had no, not really actually. I mean, if anything, less of an advantage in your situation, but usually people file it all together. If you, again, depending if you're eligible, I'm curious why you filed it separately. um, like if it's like who applied for you, who's your sponsor? Okay, you're in the U.S. and married to a U.S. citizen. Okay, great. So maybe your spouse wasn't a citizen back then, and that's fine. I mean, you did, there's nothing wrong with what you did. It's just that if your spouse was a citizen earlier, then you could have saved some time. Okay, so I'm glad she's a citizen because then there's less likely an issue about they shouldn't ask you an RFE about providing proof of non-immigrant status because that's usually when the sponsor is a resident. Okay, so they waive your unlawful presence and overstay if that's what you're really asking about. Um, okay, your second question is, if so, is that faster than people that are waiting for both to be approved? Yeah, so I think I see what you're saying. Um, I mean, at this point, you already lost some time, but yeah, I would actually argue that, well, not argue, but I would propose in general for people who are considering, like looking at if they haven't filed a case yet and they're really like, should I file a petition right now or should I file both applications? I do in quotations because there's actually a lot of applications, not just two. But I would propose to file everything all together if I had to turn back the clock for you. But obviously you can't. And that's because some people might get confused, but if you file the I-130 only, that generally takes 12 months. So AD, I'm wondering, can you share your experience, how long your petition took to process by itself? In the meantime, let's answer another question on a different platform. Thank you so much for your questions. Look, I try to stay online for at least 30 minutes to an hour every day at noon. I don't think I'll be able to do that tomorrow because I'm supposed to go to the zoo with my other kiddo, but I'll try. I mean, not when I'm with the kid, of course. All right, Elizabeth on TikTok. Husband had his last interview March 2023 and said they had to do a background check and no response yet. Holy hell, that's been a year. Okay, had the interview. Did he pass the civics, the English test, and all that? So all it is background check. If so, Elizabeth, your husband needs to file a lawsuit. It would be our pleasure to assist you. And here's the thing: USCS policy manual for naturalization cases actually state online, and you can see it. I can happy to email it to you that they actually welcome you to sue them after 120 days. 120 days after an interview. So, US, what does that mean? Because it's on print, it's on the policy manual, US attorneys are more likely to assist, coordinate with us to help your husband become a citizen. Okay. Now, of course, if there truly is an issue with background check, U.S. attorney can't do anything with that. But at least they can push it, help us push it to an extent where um, the case will be looked at again, because it looks like it's been lost in a sense. It's been mistracked or off track. All right, let's see. SNK. What is the process for unaccompanied minor in USA? Um, there's several information to know, but the first thing I think about is, does an unaccompanied minor have a guardian or someone to take care of that child? I don't know how, I say child, but it's really, of course, the USCIS definition under 21. But the first thing I think about for solution here for unaccompanied minor is special immigrant juvenile visa. Lawyers call it SIJ as an acronym. Okay, so you have to have, one of the first requirements we ask questions is, do you have a parent, at least one parent, who has abandoned you, abused you, neglected you? Those are three main categories or bases, okay, to file this application. And it's like mm, at least a two-step process. The first thing you need is through the family court to get related to like a custody order or dependency order. Then after you obtain that, then you can file to USCS. Now, 99.9% of states, you have to get this done before the child turns 18. Okay. Yes, see, your I-130 was approved May 10th with concurrent filing with a PD of January 19th. So that was, I think you mean January 2019. Or maybe not, because you put 765 was approved 414. Okay, yeah, I guess you mean this year. All of it was last year. 510 probably mean last year. Oh no, maybe even like a few days ago, 6 days ago. Um, your spouse is in the U.S. Do you need to do anything else? No, you just hang out. If you got a 485 pending, and just in general, you don't have to do anything. The only time you definitely know you need to do something when you have filed a case already is check your mailbox or check your USCS, my USCS account. I mentioned I went live last night for a little bit on a couple of platforms, not all of them. And the My USCS account, when you see it somewhere in the very bottom, I believe, it's not accurate. It's going to confuse the hell out of you. So please pay no attention to it. You might get excited for a second. You might feel very sad for a second because it goes back and forth, apparently. Okay. It's like a teeter totter for some reason. Just pay no attention to that. But other than that, you might get some notices on the My USCS account. And if you don't have one set up, it's okay. They still mail you the document, the notice. So just be on the lookout for that. So the only time, other than that, the only time you actually have to do something is when you receive either an RFE, request for evidence, or an interview notice. And that's it. You get approval notice. You still don't have to do anything technically, because they're going to mail you the resident card, for example. All righty. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the show. If you're just now joining, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem. Maybe just point you in the right direction, okay? Here live for a reason. But if you are interested, because there's a heck of a ton of problems, unfortunately, with immigration. But if you do need legal services, or you're just considering it, you're not quite sure yet, but you have a pretty good idea you might need legal services, on YouTube and Facebook, you can click the link down below. There's a short form, and on TikTok and Instagram, I think you go right. I think you're going to follow right here, and you can go to the link later on today. Okay. Celine on TikTok. What does it mean when your I-130 case number goes from WAC to IOE number? So typically, a case is assigned to one service center, and sometimes, depending how many cases or application a service center has, and if they, I guess they do some internal review discussion. If another service center has a low amount of cases, they'll transfer one set of cases to another service center. But to actually change the case number, that's interesting. That's not common. So I wonder if they lost your first file. Not to like just talking out loud here. I don't know if they did lose your file, but that's not common to change the case number within or receipt number within USCIS for the same application. Not saying it's a bad thing. Just I don't have the direct answer for you without looking at it. Oh boy, here we go. Okay. All right, folks, on TikTok, really please don't copy and paste your question. If on TikTok for some reason, I guess they're doing better in terms of filtering, but with my channel, they're not doing a good job because they're just immigration questions. So I don't know why they're hiding it. So, but in general, some of y'all don't even have this situation. So there's someone named Supriya Bora. Please don't copy and paste your question anymore. I see it. That but copy and paste your question like 50 times is not gonna have me answer your question any faster. Just to be real with y'all. Okay. TikTok. Please know if you have asked a question, whichever channel it is, I see it. I'll get to you. I will try my best to get to you. But if you copy and paste, you're not gonna. I'm less likely to answer it. Unless you give me a rose, I guess I'll answer it faster. There's just a lot of questions. Okay, I will get to you as fast as I can. And if I don't get to you, then it's probably a good idea to schedule a paid consultation, which is not this amount. Okay, it's 3 digits for a paid consultation. If all you're doing is asking question, like a simple, it's not. I think it's funny. I think it's interesting, but y'all might think you may have a simple question, but the answer is not so simple. It might be in our head, but it's a lot to share, as you can tell, because I can't answer questions that quickly. It's a lot of information. All right. Okay. That's it on TikTok. You passed the N400 interview. Congratulations. Decision cannot be made. You're pending 71. What to do next? Well, for congratulations again on your N400 interview itself. But did did USCIS have the 751 case file together? Because usually for us, especially when I go to one of us on my team, oh, here the roses come. Here the roses. Appreciate it. All right, baller. Okay, cool. So I'll see if I can try to find your question. Again, this I don't know if you had a lawyer, Basit, but this is an example. Um, I mean, the officer should already know. I hope this officer, interviewing officer, already knows that hey, they need to process 751. But the thing is, they're trying to do better in the sense that have the actual case file, literally a physical file of the 751 application, be in the same office as the N400 application. For us as attorneys, before we file, when we file the case, we let the officer know, the USCIS agency know, hey, you need to put them together so we can have an interview on both at the same time. But anyways, I don't know if you had a lawyer, but if you didn't, then you and your interviewing officer didn't realize that, which they should have. But if they didn't, then you definitely should send some kind of cover letter asking them to, move the 751 case file to your local office. Let's see here. All right, DP, I see your question. I just approved it. You're one of those that TikTok just like hit it for some reason. What happens if you submit a renewal application twice by mistake? I guess you did that online. I think it's okay. I mean, the only thing is that you lost this money if you actually paid it twice. I'm assuming it was done online for you. Hello there. Moya, can you get a work and travel pro without submitting medical first? I believe so. I don't think, I think for some client or some of our clients that are able to get the travel and work permit sooner, um, and they didn't provide medical exam, I believe they've been able to get it. But of course, in general, I do recommend you provide the medical for people who already have not filed yet. Okay. All right, King. I am on the lookout for your question. I just tried to click your profile name, but it didn't let me get to your question if you had one. That'd be a cool feature if they had it. So it wouldn't waste my time scrolling up and down. Um, Thank you so much for your questions. My goodness, I thought I was at the right spot, and TikTok keeps moving it. I've been just trying to scroll my finger down. Okay. Okay, I think I'm back on track here. Okay. Mr. Jelly Hands on TikTok. Do I invest? Do you mean do we accept investor visa clients for US for legal status? We do. That's called E1 or E2. But we don't handle EB5. That's the one that's like at least $800,000. We refer out for that. Okay, 1CC and NEVA 2. If someone files Social Security for you without you knowing what will happen, I don't know. Is that related to immigration? Because the only thing I'm aware of for for Social Security Administration is when it's related to immigration. I don't know how someone can file for you without you knowing. And if that's the case, that sounds like more of a fraud issue. That you may need to contact your state's attorney general and Social Security Administration. Okay, let's see. Um, if anyone has a tendency to type in, please read my question. You might need to hit me up with some roses, okay? If you're on TikTok, not that it really matters to me. I mean, that's cool. That'll get my attention. But saying please read my question, that's not gonna get your question to be read sooner. Because I'm really truly trying to go in order here. Let's see. Okay, Karen. There the roses at. Appreciate it. No, so I'll keep your name. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write these names down and give me a rose on TikTok. So if I definitely see your question while it's on screen, I'll just get to it. All right. Karen, you're on your second extension letter for expired resident card. All right, Keisha, I got you. Thank you so much. Um, for a expired second extension letter. I'm glad you got that. Should you apply for citizenship? Yes, absolutely, Karen. If you're if you're eligible, I recommend it. All right, King, I got you too, King Shane. All right, King Shane's going to be up next when I see his name. Um, yes, Karen, I do. Nishan, all right, Nishan, I got you too. All right, you guys are good now. All right, a new piano. Do you have a joint bank account with your spouse? Do you have to have one? Look, if you, I don't. That's part of our improvement checklist. Okay, is have a joint bank account that is actually being used. Okay, one of my first cases when I was an attorney, starting out as attorney, helped the client get a joint bank account. I can't go to the bank with y'all, but walking you through the process. Um, and it was one of my first cases, so I didn't know that I should have advised. The client got approved anyway, got approved for residency, but it would have been better because what I do is I act like I'm US. For me to prepare my clients and my team to prepare our clients, I act like USCIS. So if I look at the case file and look at evidence and there's no joint bank account, it makes me question if it's authentic, if it's bona fide, if it's real deal. Okay, because I know I get it. Not everyone has a joint bank account, especially even those who are U.S. citizens. But look, this is one of the first things I look at. Do you have a joint financial account? Maybe it's not a bank account or a checking account. Maybe it's a savings account. Maybe it's something else. But I think people maybe I'm making a bad assumption here. I hope you found the right match. I truly do. But if you're still a little concerned, number one, set up, here's a hot tip, set up, sign, not set up, sign a have an attorney prepare a premarital agreement, okay, to protect your current assets. USCS doesn't need to know about it. They don't say provide them every single document that you two have signed. Thank goodness. But the other thing is, USCS instructions don't say you have to put all your money into that one joint account. It's at least some money. I'm not saying $500. I think we really should put a little more than $500. Okay. A lot of y'all I know have been like moving money in and out of the account. Just let it sit there. Okay. If you're going to move it out, put a memo line why it's been moved out. Okay. Because you just never know when you have a USCS officer that's really gung ho and really strict even though they don't need to be. Okay. But put all your expenses, even if you prefer to pay it through a credit card, then have that one specific credit card paid by the joint checking account. So is that 3 tips right there? Okay. All right, AA. If I see your name and you have a question, I'll answer yours too. All right, now scrolling down, Naweed Arvin. You submitted I-131 HP November 16, 2021, but until now you still haven't received anything except receipt. Yeah, we don't even handle those cases. Because of that reason. We have no idea. No attorney has any idea the because here's the deal. It's pretty much a free program. Okay. Humanitarian parole is pretty much a free program. I'm pretty sure you don't have to pay anything. And so because of that reason, well, not because of that reason, but because of that, there's no entitlement to that benefit. Okay. It's different than like applying through a U.S. citizen marriage to a U.S. citizen. Okay, so I'm sorry you're still waiting, but a lot of people are in that situation, still waiting for something from HB. But just because you applied does not even mean you're going to get selected for humanitarian parole. I hate to say it. It's just already been 2 or 3 years, and who knows? Even the same president can get rid of it in like like a light switch. All right, let me switch over here. Test bond 007. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're asking a question. Um, um, okay, Wild Rider on YouTube. Having legal entry in the U.S. overstay, do you have any option for legal stay without leaving the country and working as an out of status have benefits? Okay, you got a lot of questions there. That's more like a webinar type question. I think Wild Rider, just like most of y'all probably already know, to get what you're asking, driver license, other benefits, bank account, blah blah blah. The best case scenario is get married to a U.S. citizen. But hey, I know it's hard to find the right match. Okay, I wish you all the best. I feel like I need to create like a dating website. I just don't have the time for that. But I got married. I met my wife before all those dating apps, so I'm very fortunate that I didn't have to stress about all those apps because there's so many. Let's see. But in all seriousness, Wild Rider, your kind of question is very broad. Like I don't know what you're eligible for with that kind of question. So I highly recommend for anyone who's just wondering in general, like what you're eligible for in general. You don't, and especially if you don't have a sponsor, but you're wondering what you could be eligible for, then that's a cue. That's a clue that you need to message us or call us, text us, and provide us your name, email, and tell us your webinar topic. Okay, which in this situation is essentially what am I eligible for? I'll let my team know so they're prepared, okay? I'll tell you what, we don't have a website right now. We do have a website called greencardguys.com. We'll get it set up so that you can sign up for one of those webinars. But for now, if you are interested, you can go ahead and email us at wecare@johntinglaw.com and put in the subject line webinar, okay? And it'd be great if you can give us like your question or the topic. If you don't know what the topic is per se, just tell us your question, and um, they'll most likely send you an invitation to a webinar. Okay, and that email is wecare@johntinglaw.com. We're in the process of changing our email so it's matches our brand because that is an old brand. Okay, let's see here. Diana, how long does an application withdrawal take? Cases still show active since December 26th. We have a few questions like that. Maybe because separation, divorce, something like that. Um, just you should feel content. I don't know if like peace of mind, but feel content as long as you mailed a letter to USCIS at the address that's on the bottom left corner of your receipt notice, letting them know that you are withdrawing from sponsoring a BC person, your jerk of a spouse, whoever it is, then just know that that should be sufficient because ultimately, even if it's a petition and that's approved after the fact, somehow, which it shouldn't, but if it's somehow the case for your spouse really can't move forward. If it does move forward, maybe it's just a get an MVC case number, but ultimately that spouse that you're separated from or divorced is not going to be able to do anything else after that. Won't be able to get that visa because you have to provide your joint spot, your not joint, your sponsor form of the affidavit of support, meaning your financial information. Okay, so hopefully it helps a little bit. Same thing if the waiver application is already in process and you're wondering how to stop it. The next step is same thing. You got to provide financial information. All right, sexy summer. Hello to you. You're married to a U.S. citizen. You all right? You found the right match. You filed the I-130 45 in January this year. You just saw your I-130 move from 5 to 11 months until decision. Is that normal? It is normal that processing times change a lot in your My USCS account. If you're talking about does it change often in terms of online, like in the USCIS.gov processing timetable, then no, it doesn't switch that quickly. But that's what I was saying. I always say every day and almost every 5 minutes, whatever you see in a daggum My USCIS account, pay no attention to it. Because please, yes, we are in the United States of A, and we are number one superpower. At least that's what we assume. I don't know. You let me know what you think. But we just don't have it together, okay, folks? We just don't have it together. Just think about all the other situations you've had to deal with any kind of government agency in the United States, and you thought, hell, if you could run that department, it would go quicker, right? Okay, so I don't know what the hell the webmaster or who was in charge. Maybe no one's in charge in there handling this processing time on your My USS account, but it feels like a bot, like it's just like some random glitch. Okay, that's what you got to consider that. Because it's either going to make you too happy or too sad. That's the problem. Your emotions are going to go up and down like a roller coaster. Don't let USCS mess with you like that. All right, Samuel, what's up? You have a DUI arrest that never made it to court. I think you mentioned the other day your charges got dropped. You're waiting your DACA. It's been 180 days since processing. Could that be the reason why you could get denied? Because it sounds like you haven't been denied yet. Yeah, they'll likely send you an RFE requesting or NOID requesting those documents. So I don't know if it was you or someone else I answered yesterday. If you're in a situation no charges are filed, then you need to get some kind of screenshot or save as PDF either from the court directly or the police, yeah, the court directly or online. Online, hopefully you're in a county where they have like, you could do online record search. You put in your name, date of birth. You can put your like, if you have middle name, try to transpose it because sometimes, the courts, the clerks may put the names incorrectly, even date of birth. They might put the month and the date transposed. Oh my God, trust me, we finally found records because the clerks messed up typing, literally typing it in incorrectly. So, but anyway, this is a situation you want to screenshot or save as PDF all these different scenarios to show them the charges have been dropped because nothing on the online system. Okay. And if you want to take a step further, you can, if you have a lawyer, then maybe a lawyer or their assistant could write a letter saying that they have an affidavit, basically swearing that they've attempted to all the different efforts, or even as just you doing it, write a letter that you get a notary sign off on that to notarize that you're telling the truth, that you've done all these efforts to find out the status of your case, and that's what you found. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, Empire. You know, it's allowed to file I-130 for your sibling without telling them, but is that a good idea? Because if after the visa and you answer no on the DS-260, if anyone has ever filed immigration petition on behalf, when this pre-problem if also solid. Okay, so I'm really just joking around, like just file when I was mentioning about your sibling, just file it anyway. I mean, of course, tell them about it, but you don't have to wait for their approval, is what I meant. Okay. But yeah, absolutely. You, on a DS-160, I mean, that's the thing. I would also hope that your sibling who was outside the United States would give you an idea or tell you when like they're gonna file for like a non-immigrant visa. I would hope. Relationships are tough, whether it's a significant other or family member, but I at least hope that your siblings have a communication to a level where they would share that kind of information. Hey, bro. Hey, sister. I'm coming to US. I'm at least applying to come visit you. So then, at the very least, that would be the time telling. Hey, by the way, I did file this thing for you. Just a heads up. All right. But Empire, in all seriousness, thank you so much for mentioning that. I mean that, and that's see, this is a good example. Like with the community here, y'all share extra tips, things to be concerned about, to be aware of. I really appreciate y'all because when it's especially immigration law, there's so much to cover when I'm just sharing like one specific scenario. Okay, so that's why if like you had a simple question, it's not so much of a simple answer, unfortunately. And that's why if you are not interested in our services and you want an in-depth answer, that's more so in-depth than here on the platform here, live show, then you would schedule a paid consultation. Okay, I can't say it out loud, but it's 3 digits. But if you would like our services or considering our services, then all you gotta do is pay this amount as a reservation fee. Okay, and our team will verify if you're eligible. All right, let's see. The TikTok user with Chinese characters, I think, were you on last night too? You have joint lease, bills, bank account, insurance, and not a lot of photos. Yeah, don't worry about the photos. Like two, three, five. We don't ask clients to provide us a now photo album. But yeah, we have a long checklist. Um, but you got the sense of it. Anything financial is very important. Nawi, what's the best way to expedite HP? I don't believe there's a way, or to get approved. I don't believe there's a way to expedite. Again, I don't handle HP, so I don't know those questions answers. Tashi, how long will it take after approved employment authorization? How long it take what? For residency? Is that what you're talking about? I have no idea what you actually applied for in general, but I guess I generally assume you're talking about adjustment of status to get residence status. There's no black and white timing, but in general, from the time filed until approval, or at least a decision, 2023, 2024 trend has been 3 to 5 months. Will that be the case for you? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends. Did you provide a medical exam? If you did not provide a medical exam, which folks, I really recommend it. Okay, I got a video on TikTok, and I think my marketing team puts it on all other platforms. I do record on TikTok first because it's just a lot easier, by the way. if you're wondering why people use TikTok. I mean, that's one of the reasons, more so than other platforms. Meta, are you listening? Let's see here. Hey, Empire, you're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you as well. Sharif Smith, your boyfriend is a U.S. citizen. Okay, great. You hopefully you found the right match. But out of the country. Oh, he's out of the country from when he was a child. How can he come back to U.S.? Well, he needs to apply. Did he have does he have a birth certificate? Okay, because a birth certificate is required to apply for a U.S. passport. Um, they might allow secondary evidence if he doesn't have a birth certificate, but that's really the best thing. The U.S. Department of State office that handles passport, they're nitpicky, folks. They really check to make sure if the certificate itself is legit. And so some people have had problems. Doesn't mean they can't get it done, but yeah, I mean, we've had someone that the birth certificate was not like obtained during close to the time of birth, but it was signed by a judge, and the Department of State did not like that. Okay, they needed something else that was signed by like the let's say in Texas we call it Bureau of Vital Statistics Office. Christian Willie, good afternoon. You just received an update. Your green card is being produced. Yeah, awesome. Congratulations to you, sir. And how long will it get in the mail? Um, could be 1 week, could be 3 weeks. So definitely less than a month. However, if it's been more than a month, then you need to submit inquiry. Okay, don't wait on it. Okay, on TikTok, Harijit Kaur, can you apply for citizenship after extension? I mean, what I was talking about earlier, resident status extension. Married with U.S. citizen for about 4 years. Okay, great. Yeah, so then even after 3 years, you can apply. So that's good. Sounds like you're eligible right now. I mean, still have to ask more questions to verify. By the way, folks, thank you so much for your time. I know your time's precious. Thanks for staying on live so you give me the opportunity to answer your questions. I really appreciate it. It'll be our pleasure to assist you in your case to help you secure your legal status if you would like it. If you're not sure, I've got videos out there on all these platforms, especially I know it's on TikTok, about what to consider, what to ask an attorney. Look, I might be one of the only attorneys who will tell you it doesn't have to be us. It would be our pleasure. But there's so many immigration attorneys. Who knows? You might want one that's like in your same city because you're able to visit them, and you just want that kind of peace of mind. I get it. We're happy to refer you to other attorneys. I know like hundreds of immigration attorneys that we work with, collaborate with if needed. Let's see here. We got Sunflower here that says your case is stuck. How long has it been that you filed it? Okay, Weeksford, you got married in 2020 and you're getting divorced. Congratulations that you're getting divorced. You gotta get going. Move on to the next page. You applied for your ex-husband. The case haven't was it Minnie? Oh, hasn't finished yet. And who's this? Are you the foreign national immigrant? And now you're dating guys who don't have a green card. I guess I'm a little confused. Are you the U.S. citizen, Weeksford? Oh yeah, you applied for your ex-husband. Okay, and now you're dating who don't have. Well, I mean, you could help. You're dating a guy who doesn't have a green card. I mean, so okay, so I think I understand your question. Can you still apply for someone else if you may have a current case with your prior spouse? So of course you definitely need to file a letter about the first case to withdraw your name from that application. Okay, and then after that, then you get married to the second person, assuming that person's in the U.S., and then file for adjustment of status for that. Um, subsequent spouse. Okay. But if that person's in the US, there is no such thing as fiance visa. Fiance visa is only for someone who's outside the US. All right. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Magda, yeah. Magda's comment said, so nice to spend time with children. You know what? A lot of people, whether clients themselves, yourselves, my colleagues have all shared that time is precious, especially when the kids are young, because after a certain age, apparently they're not so kind anymore. So I'm trying to think back. Was I mean? I think so. Maybe from time to time. Our hormones get the best of us, unfortunately. So I gotta make use of the time when they're young. All right, folks. I really appreciate the questions, and I'm not able to answer all of them right now. I wish I was a robot in this situation that could speed through it. I wish I had some kind of AI to answer your question right now. But I know you want to hear from me directly. So if you want a meeting with me directly, I usually don't offer, but we do have a paid consultation with our premier associates, but also with me. But it's a paid consultation for it's 3 digits, okay? But you need to be serious about your case. Now, I'm gonna be upfront with you. If you're just like wondering if you're eligible, like for like a company to sponsor you, I don't recommend paying for that. The best use of your time, you can connect with us, send us your information so we can invite you to a webinar. And right now, we're not charging for those webinars. But if you have a sponsor, like you're married or you're an investor, you're a company owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're ready to file for E1, E2, for example, or you have your own company and you're in the US, you want to transfer someone to America and you're ready to go for that, then that's something we can just go ahead and offer you a quote. Okay. Um, but if you're like absolutely want to do it yourself, but you just have that one question, okay? We can't walk you through the entire process, okay? That's not what the consultation is. Now, most attorneys will not tell you this. That's what I'm telling you right now, so that you don't waste your time, okay? And don't feel upset because a consultation is not to walk you through the entire case. Because if that were the situation, then you might as well hire the attorney, the law firm, to help you with the case, but we can answer the quick question. This, the one or two questions point you in the right direction. Okay, so hopefully it gives you an idea. So that would be like a consultation. Hopefully that gives you an idea of the differences. I need to put that on the website probably. I probably do. So that'll be easier for y'all. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. YouTube, Facebook. I don't think I can go live with y'all tomorrow, or Instagram unless I do it at night because I'm gonna be at the zoo tomorrow. So I will, but I'll try to. Well, if I come back earlier or in the morning, I'll try to go live with y'all. All right. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Take care. Y'all know what to do. And for y'all that gave me roses and I didn't see y'all, I didn't see your question, please DM me. I'll respond.